So we're going to do 3B, which is lung and large intestine on the back. So first we're going to find the lung diagnostic area, which is T1, 2, and 3. And it's an area. It's a three-dimensional energetic area. So we can hold it like this. Kind of let it introduce itself to you. We're going to find the lung shoe point, which is the bottom of that diagnostic area between T3 and 4, 1 inch on either side of the spine on the bladder channel. Bladder 13 is the lung shoe point. Or what's the Japanese? U point. Goes right to the organs. And you're between the ribs. Now we're going to find the large intestine. So it's really at the waist. It's between, this is where her ribs end and this is her hip. So it's really between those two. And it can be quite different. It can be really soft and it can be really, really tense on people. Just have to kind of discover that for yourself. And I'm gonna move my body in this direction. So now I can find between L4 and 5 is, what's the number? 25. So I'm kind of on her sacrum. I can feel her sacrum, so that's nice right here. So that's the shoe point, bladder 25 for the large intestine. And then we're gonna transition now to the legs. And we can just do that wave. A nice way to warm up. And then you can find gently the corner. You're not on her low ribs. You're below her ribs. Find a comfortable position and then just give a little bit, wait for her inhale and exhale. And then give her a little squeeze, like she's wearing a corset or something. Just a little tiny compression. This is good for low back pain. But just make sure that you're not on her tiny little floating ribs. Okay, so now we're gonna do a hip rotation. I'm gonna hold her hip joint with this hand and I can actually feel it rotating around. And you can do this kind of clock stretch if you give her enough space. You know, I can really go all directions. Give her some resistance. You can do circles. You can do each direction and stretch it. And then we're going to end in the large intestine leg position. Ankle crossing ankle. And here I am. I'm just going to palm down the corner. I'm not on her IT band. I'm not on the side. I'm still on the corner. Don't forget the knee. We don't push on the joints, but you still don't want to neglect it. Palming and then thumbing. 90 degrees, relaxed pressure. Just keep checking in with your own body. Make sure you are relaxed. This knee joint, similar to large intestine 11, it's in the same place, essentially. The movement associated with this channel is downward movement, so this can make people fall asleep. It makes them feel like they're falling. Okay, lay that leg down. We're gonna do lung. So it's easy to find the center line. We're just gonna go 1 inch lateral to the center line. And you can go just to the knee and then thumb, or you can go all the way down to the ankle and then thumb. It's up to you. You can hold a mother hand at the low back too. That's nice. So I can palm now. Lung extension, no points. 1 inch from the center line, more lateral though. If they're not comfortable crossing their leg like this, you can also, I've done this before, you just put it on there. Put their leg on your lap. That can be quite comfortable for you. So we're gonna...
We want to do the arm, knee to the armpit.
Okay, so we're gonna do, this is a fun one. So I'm holding the bottom of her foot and make sure her knee is out. And I can ask her to take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Here we are. And she's relatively easy to move. If someone is hard to move, you can just ask them to move their own leg. That's fine. And I wouldn't do this on elderly people. It can be too big of a stretch, especially on these groin muscles. And notice she can do it, but this is going to be where you're probably going to end up. And if she's not flexible, this is going to be too much on her groin. So it's actually really important for people who are not that flexible, and specifically men typically aren't, to have the knee much closer to the chest. And she's standing with her pad of her foot on my knee. So I'm just kind of stretching her back. I'm not using bony elbow, I'm just using the flat and giving her some length, but also 90-degree relaxed pressure down across the glute. You can do both.
Where is the large intestine on the glute?
It's just behind this trochanter. All right, so I'm gonna take this ankle, I'm gonna bring it back, and now I can work on her feet. So the large intestine, lung are the footprint. So it's the outer edge of the footprint. It's what you can see on the sand. And since lung is yin, it's more hidden. It's more of an internal process. So it's on that inner border of the footprint. And there are no points here. This is just an extension. The large intestine, it crosses. Remember, it goes on the outside diagonal line and then behind the ankle bone, and it wraps around to become that footprint, that calloused part of your foot. And it actually is, from what I've thread, the top where it joins the toes, the line where the footprint joins the toes, not necessarily flat against it, but you could try both if you want. Large intestine. And then we'll do the other leg. So, transition using your body weight is nice. Since her leg is straight, we can just do lung. Kind of encourage you to, improvise and dance as much as you can within the sequence, because it's more important how you feel. It doesn't matter if you do one first at this point. Palming, thumbing. Don't forget the joint. Find the bottom of the point. We'll do the hip rotation now, holding the trochanter under my palm. And I can stretch, 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 stretch. If she can reach, good. Yep. Large intestine, palming the corner. If they can't be in this position comfortably, I put them on my lap sometimes. But she's okay. Their knee has to be a little bit out too in order to get comfortably in this position. A little turned out at the knee. And you can use your imagination for this line. Just know you're aiming for the corner of the leg. And let's do the other side. So her knee is a little bit out. I'm gonna get ready, take a deep breath in, and let it go. And now she's standing on me. It's important to put your knee not on the arch of her foot, but on the pad of her foot, where she can actually, like if she was tiptoeing on a balance beam, that's where her weight would be, because that's gonna feel more supportive for her. Like she's really standing on the earth. Large intestine is a great line for sciatica, but I would always work on the uninjured side first. And this move might be a little too extreme for sciatica. But just keep checking in with your person. Going down the glute. Again, aiming for the corner of the leg. And the foot. Drag it back, straighten them out. It's nice to do something on both sides of a person once you've just worked on one leg. And now if I want to crawl, I'm going to have to crawl all the way up to her head. So in order to do that, I can gently walk. And put your hands by your side. It's important to not leave contact with them. Keep using your body weight. I could have stopped at her waist and done some hara waves. So this is the lung diagnostic area. I know we already went here, but it's just really nice to sit at their head and do these kitty paws. You can thumb here on the bladder 13. See if they can let go, melt a little bit at the bottom of their exhale. . It's not necessary. It's just something we kind of invite them to do. And some people, if they really need this point, you can even give them like that soft elbow, not the bony elbow, but just right above. And you can kind of walk it out between their shoulder blades. Make sure you're relaxed. Make sure you drop your own weight and melt. If you're gonna go deeper in the pressure, don't do it with your muscles. Do it with dropping and melting your own weight into them.